One really quick update on college basketball algorithm related topics. Got asked about the men's college basketball algorithm yesterday. I prepared that, and I was reminded that the women's college basketball algorithm needs to be created. We got started on that. There was some progress, and I have something to report, at least today. I'm not really happy with it, but it is something, and I kind of want to explain the process. When we're trying to set up predictions for women's college basketball, we have to use whatever stats are available to us. Sportsreference.com is a great resource. They ask that we cite them whenever we use them. I gathered this information from Sports Reference. It's available publicly without a subscription. And they'll give you a rating of a team, win-loss percentage, standard rating system that's applied to the team, the strength of schedule. There's a team possession number. There's some points. There's a field goals, I think. There are some raw numbers in here. They're okay, but they're not great. They're not averaged out per game automatically. They're fairly raw. But I did apply some percentages to these stats to try to come up with something. And no surprise, if you've paid any attention to women's college basketball, you know that South Carolina has the greatest reputation and they're a very winning team. That is what these numbers obviously end up yielding, is South Carolina on top. And then it has an order of teams, and they have it's going to do its comparison of power that we do. And so if you were to look at the games, this is a way you could look at it, and this is a base or a start for doing this. So we have something, but it lacks player stats, which you would need to gather from, there's a site called Her Hoop Stats, I believe, that is a really good source. You need to pay for it, and it's not easy to download the information. And I don't know how they keep that. It's a huge task to gather all these stats. So we're just really not there with a perfect product. So I'm not going to sell anything related to this, but I wanted to let you know, if you're going to work on your own, setting things up in the standing sheet of the algorithm will get you started. And this is at least a very, very raw look at comparisons between teams. So that's the women's update. The men's update, the algorithm it works really well this time of year. It had a good day yesterday, and let's look at today. The lines are bad. I've glanced at this already, but what you're going to see is you're going to see a lot of these home teams winning. Unfortunately, they're all at terrible lines. Be careful with UNLV because they are at 89% health. Michigan State probably wins against Michigan. It's minus 800, but they're probably going to win because Michigan's at 80%. You can see it's just very difficult to wager at those lines. But when you're looking for what is this algorithm telling us, it's telling us that Marquette is heavily injured against Villanova. And that's probably why they're an underdog, even though they generally are a stronger team than Villanova. Tonight in Villanova, with the injuries to Marquette, it's a much better chance that Villanova probably wins this game with an injury number like this. Iowa beating Indiana on the road. Look at Indiana's health at 82%. So when it comes to reasonable lines, while I don't like taking away teams in college basketball, there's still an 11% margin there, but there's also significant injuries here. So it's not going to be surprising to see Iowa win this game at a very reasonable line on the road. Be careful with Miami on the road, injured. That's also probably why they're an underdog. So you probably would not play them here. There are some away underdogs over here. Something like Northern Illinois with a really good strength of schedule comparison of 4.2. This away one plus the points, like that's a pretty strong pick, even though they're on the road. They're supposed to win. 3% margin is going to be close, but they have the better strength of schedule. What any of these other underdogs? Texas Tech has a better strength of schedule than TCU. You can get 5.5 points with them, but they're on the road. Teams on the road don't generally win down here. Usually we apply something called a home bump, which changes the power. If you apply a 5% home bump, all of a sudden a lot of these away teams at the bottom are going to go off the list. There's going to be some home teams there. Yep. Now it favors TCU. because you just bumped them a little bit for being a home team. And this is a more reasonable look at what happens at the bottom of the list. You can see how much further down Miami is moved and why they're obviously an underdog and they're probably going to lose this game. Syracuse against Boston College is still on here, plus 4.5 points. It's not bad. It's very close down here. You really can spend a lot of time digging through this. And I'm just, if you want to, this one is going to be available for sale. I'm putting a $50 price tag on it. It's an algorithm you can update yourself with RotoWire and provide a lot of information every day if you want to follow it, because college basketball is fun to follow. There's a lot to follow, but there's also a lot of opportunity. So that's why I offer this. All right. So women, I guess, go South Carolina. Was it Gamecocks or something? But here's the rest of the order. That's the update. And of course, if you want a copy of the tried and true men's version as we get closer here to March Madness, let me know. Go to the website and you can purchase a copy. All right, good luck. May all your picks be winning.